I am Janice Deso-acido, a BSED Filipino 3 student. So for today's video, we are going to describe the curriculum from the different perspectives. And second, we're going to describe also the nature and scope of the curriculum. Before we are going to answer the following questions, first we're going to tackle about what is curriculum. So, curriculum is a document which describes a structured series of learning objectives and outcomes for a given subject matter area. It includes a specification of what should be learned, how it should be taught, and of course, the plan for implementing or assessing the learning. Here's the definition of curriculum proposed by the different person. First is John Dewey. According to John Dewey, curriculum is a continuous reconstruction moving from the child present experience out into that represented by the organized bodies of truth that we call studies. According to Franklin Babbitt also, curriculum is the entire range of experiences, both direct and indirect. Concerned is unfolding the abilities of the individual. On the other hand, according to Ralph Tyler, curriculum is the learning experiences planned and directed by the school to attain its educational goal. So next, we are going to tackle the nature and scope of curriculum. First is the nature of curriculum. The instructional program is indicated by the course offering to meet the various requirements of a vast heterogeneous population. The nature of curriculum also is the course of the study, embodying outlines of knowledge to be taught. All the experiences are being provided under the guidance of the school. Curriculum is that which makes a difference between maturity and immaturity. It could also be between the growth and stasis, between literacy and illiteracy, between the sophistication and simplicity. So, in the sophistication, it includes the intellectual, moral, social, and emotional. It is accumulated heritage of man's knowledge filtered through the prisons of contemporary demands and pressure. It is that wisdom considered relevant to any age of any given location. Second is the scope of curriculum. Scope relates to what should be taught or learned. Scope refers to the brief of the curriculum, the content, the learning experiences, and activities to be included in the curriculum. The scope can be arrived at by answering the following questions. So first, what do young people need in order to succeed in the society? Next is, what are the needs of the locality, society, nation, or even the world? Last is, what are the essentials of the discipline? We are going to answer the following questions. First is, describe the different approaches to school curriculum. Second, explain by example how the approaches clarify the definition of curriculum. And last is, after learning this lesson, how would you prepare yourself to become a teacher? Using the three approaches of curriculum. Include how the three approaches interrelated with each other. There are three ways of approaches to school curriculum. First is the curriculum as a content, curriculum as a process, and curriculum as a product. Let's start first the curriculum as a content or a body of language. The focus of this curriculum will be the body of knowledge to be transmitted to students using appropriate teaching methods. The likelihood of teaching will be limited to acquisition of facts, concepts, and principles of the subject matter. However, the content can also be taken as a mean to an end. So there are four ways of presenting the content. First is the topical approach. This approach is much content-based and knowledge and experience are included. Second is the concept approach. Fewer topic in clusters among major and sub-concepts of their interaction with relatedness emphasized. The third one is the thematic approach. Thematic approach, when we say thematic approach, it is a combination of a concept that develop conceptual structures. And lastly is the modular approach. Modular approach leads to complete the unit of instruction. There are six criteria of a selection of content: significance, validity, utility, learnability, feasibility, and interest. Next will be the curriculum as a process. Curriculum happens in the classroom as the questions asked by the teacher and learning activities engaged by the students. So the process of teaching and learning process becomes the center or the central concern of teaching to emphasize critical thinking. Thinking means making and hands-on doing, and many others. There are ways of teaching, ways of managing the content and guiding learning, method of teaching and learning, and strategies of teaching or delivery modes. We have seen that the curriculum can be approached as a content. On the other hand, it can also be approached as a process. As a process, curriculum links to the content. As we all know that content provide for materials on what to teach. The process provides curriculum and also on how to teach the content. All in all, the process will be the result to various curriculum experiences for the learners. And lastly is the curriculum as a product. Curriculum as a product, or the central to the approach, is the formulation of behavioral objectives stated as intended learning outcomes. These learned or achieved learning outcomes are demonstrated by the person who has meaningful experiences in the curriculum. All the result of planning, content, and process in the curriculum. Lastly, we're going to answer the question, how would you prepare yourself to become a teacher using the three approaches to curriculum? As a future educator, I should have the skills needed for effective teaching, involve more than just expertise in an academic field. We must be able to interact with people and help them understand a new way of looking at the world. As a teacher, we are the role model who set the tone for the class. If we are able to show enthusiasm and commitment, our students are more likely to reciprocate. These three approaches of curriculum has a big help to every teachers or educators to be prepared. In order to be efficient and effective educators, we should know the course material. Think about how the material that we are going to use for teaching is effectively demonstrated and design a strategy. We have to make a plan for what we want to teach. That's why we need to know the three approaches of curriculum. So that's the end of my video presentation. Thank you and God bless.